Welcome back. And as was mentioned earlier in the show, this segment will be focusing on the Belize International Film Festival. Joining us on set, we have director of the Belize International Film Festival, Suzette Zayden, and we have with us her chief volunteer. That's what she's been referred to, Vanessa Grant. Good morning, ladies, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Let's talk about the Belize International Film Festival for the 2016 cycle.
Right.
What can we expect? What are we looking at? What is the participation, and what do we need to know?
Well, the 11th edition of the Belize International Film Festival will take place in Belize City this year. We've moved from July to November, so it's going to happen next week, actually. November 10th, we're opening November 10th, Thursday, and we'll close Sunday, November 13th. So it's only 4 days. So if you blink, you'll miss it. So please don't miss it. It starts next week. It's chock full of films, as you can imagine. We have 34 films and 19 music videos showcasing in the festival in just 4 days.
11th edition in 12 years? Is that the... How long ago did it start? I remember
we began in 2003.
Okay.
We took a hiatus of about 3 years.
Okay.
Between like 2005, and then we started back up in 2009.
And we have definitely seen where there's a lot of effort that goes into being able to have people respond to the call for submissions,
right?
Having the local industry participate even more. What would you say? Let's start from the 2009. Once you started rebuilding back the momentum for the film festival, are we seeing more interest on both ends?
Yes, definitely. Well, we've always had interest in the festival from let's see, we've had good sponsorship.
Okay.
We've had good interest. People have been enthused, even though they weren't very familiar about it.
Yeah.
Some people had been to festivals outside of Belize, and they knew what it was. Some people saw it as a business opportunity, that it could be an industry that would potentially contribute a lot to Belize's GDP, and it can. What we've seen in terms of the industry, when we started, there weren't many production companies. Their digital was still not quite around. We started with reels. When we began, we were screening at the Princess, and for those first years, we did use the big reels. So it was interesting. It was fun.
That's exciting.
It was patching it together. The projectionist at the Princess would spend all night patching all the films together, and he was like, "This is a lot. I usually just have one reel for the weekend. I have like tons waiting here to just get shifted." So we've seen that change in technology, and with the changing technology, it became more accessible, and so we've seen a lot more. Now we're starting to see Belizean participation.
I was just about to ask about that. In terms of the participation from young and burgeoning participants, local participants, what has that been like?
Well, this year we're focusing a lot on the young. We're trying to get the youth more involved. That's one of the main reasons why we switched to November. We realized that the schools were all out in summer, and it would be hard to reach out to them and get participation. For them to even attend the panel discussions, to listen to the experts that we have. So that's one of our main reasons that we switched to this time period. In terms of, actually it's been weird, the participation that we've had at the Belize International Film Festival. I know as a practitioner in the field that there's a lot of talent in Belize. A lot of people who make commercials in Belize are extremely talented. There's, and I thought these would be the ones that would submit to the festival because they're good. And it's been hard. They haven't submitted because I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're trying to make a living, and they think this is still a creative, a hobby. It's still considered a hobby. So the people who've been contributing are people who have started and are like kind of going from scratch. So it's been taking us a while to nurture them.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that was really going to be my next question. You are absolutely right. We have many talented creatives in this country. And I think the number of production houses that are in country and the skills and talents that they have, it shows in some of the things that you see in terms of advertisement. However, what is the drive to be able to produce either a short film, a documentary, a full movie script? One, it's expensive. And other than the satisfaction of reaching the achievement, what is the return?
Well, ideally, you would want to make money from your film. But the driving force behind everything is your passion.
Yeah.
You have to really want to do it. You have to say, I want to do a movie. I'm going to do a movie no matter what. I will ask my mom to cook the food if I don't have any money to buy at restaurants. I will go find the camera. I will get my friends together. We will shoot this. I will convince them that they want to be actors. I will make this happen. And then when that's done, I will go out. I will find out, where do I take this film? How do I make people see this film? I will become famous.
Yeah.
You have to have drive in everything you do, not just in film. If you want to be the best musician in Belize, you can't sit around waiting for someone to discover you. You have to do it. You have to do the work. And so
that is part of where the International Film Festival becomes a stepping stone for many who have entered and for those that you hope to enter from Belize.
Well, actually what I was going to say earlier was that this year I'm starting to see some of those. I think finally we're seeing some of the people who are out there starting to take interest and realize, you know what, I'm being left behind. I need to get my act together. I need to finally do that. We've introduced the music video category in 2011. Well, music is important in film. We all need a soundtrack, and there's potential there. But we also recognized it as the only short form film production that was happening in Belize, and that people were creating nonstop. And so we sort of introduced that video competition in that to see the skills of those video artists, so to speak. So it's been a little confusing a while. Some people think that we select it for the artists, and we've been trying to explain
It's about the
artist makes it,
production.
and they will win the award, but it's about your video that you make to push your music. So there's like that little confusion. It's how well we're trying to get artists to move away from just standing in front of a mic and singing, and to actually have concepts and figure out how to tell the story that is their song. We've seen a dramatic improvement in the quality of submissions we've received in the music video. We're also trying to push them to do shorts. This year we actually had shorts, not so much from Belize, but we've tapped into the Belizean diaspora.
Okay.
And we're starting to see things coming in from the diaspora, which is interesting by itself.
I see you have here.
We're good with documentaries, so there are quite a number of documentaries from
Short
Belize.
documentaries.
Yes, we do have the short documentaries coming out from Belize, and these will tend to come from the NGO community.
Yeah.
And we have a category actually for best environmental film, where it feeds into, again, that area of production in Belize.
So let's get Vanessa into the conversation here. Vanessa, what prompted you to volunteer with the film festival?
I actually like videotaping and different things. It's a hobby to me. So when Miss Suzette asked for a volunteer, I was like, yes.
How have you found it so far?
Fun. A learning experience.
You're at junior college?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, so you have classes, you have friends.
At this moment, no classes.
Okay.
But my friends, yeah.
So what convinces a young person to not go and hang out, but instead go to an office and help organize and plan and watch movies that aren't Hollywood movies?
I guess I just different.
What are you working towards in the sense of all of what you're volunteering for? Is there a specific goal that you're trying to accomplish insofar as film?
No, but what is I'm not really. My accomplishment is to just be successful. So if it's volunteering, it's volunteering. I enjoy volunteering. I volunteer a lot.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen some of the movies?
a lot.
Okay.
I've been watching them.
So tell me your first reviews. Which ones do people definitely have to put on there? And Suzette, you can cover your ears because you might think she's expressing bias.
No, it's interesting to hear her observations.
Caught in the Net was my favorite one.
That's a short.
Okay.
It was funny.
Uh-huh.
It was a man that he wanted
Israel.
From Israel.
Yeah.
Was it in English?
the subtitles.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He was trying to accomplish his goals, and every time he tried, his neighbor was thieving his internet, and he got mad, and he was just like, oh.
Okay, don't give out the name though. Don't give, that's the... What else did you find very interesting?
Bank.
Okay.
It's feature film.
That's
feature film.
The one from the Belizeans in Los Angeles, right? Okay.
Oh, I remember that. We had that here on, we had the director here on set. Now that was interesting because that has a full Belizean perspective. As a young person, the struggle is that you guys can watch whatever is on cable television, whatever is on Netflix, and people often say, well, if we create anything Belizean, the young people won't want to watch it. What about Bank draws you in?
I don't know. I feel like I support my Belizeans a lot, so it draws me more towards it. So yeah.
Did you look, when you're watching this particular piece, were you critical of either the visual storylines, the dialogue, the interaction between the characters? Or you just watched it? You just
watched.
Take a, gotcha.
So we have we have from South America, Caribbean. I'm seeing Israel, Kosovo, France.
It's not Kosovo, it's Bosnia, sorry.
Oh, Bosnia. So we really have quite a number of submissions from all over. Suzette, tell us just how satisfied are you with the response in terms of getting submissions?
Well, we were happy this year.
Yeah.
We were happy this year. You're looking at 34 films from 25 different countries. I think we hit about 3 or 4 different continents. There was a good batch of films this year. There are some years that the films out there are just not quite happening, and it reflects in your selection. But we've had to turn back several. We've connected back with the embassies, and they've been able to source some of the top-rated films in their country. We have also had to juggle our true spirit, which is we want to have films from the Caribbean, we want to have films from Central America, we want to have films from Mexico. These are our immediate regions, and we want to keep that a selection of those films in there so we can keep reflecting, we can keep seeing our same geography, even though the stories might be different. We can see faces. At the same time, all the films should be keeping with our big goal, which is showing cultural interaction, how different cultures interact with different influences.
How has this, excuse me, how has this been in terms of putting Belize out there? The number of participants who submit, and the fact that the exposure that Belize gets for this kind of an activity is invaluable.
It does, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. This year, for the first time, we have the services of a publicist, and so we're getting in some again through our very good networks out there. A few international journalists will be attending.
Fantastic.
So we're looking at
To review the films.
to the festival and Belize at the same time. So they're going to be piggybacking. They're looking at the. I think we believe we have Huffington Post. We have Film Journal, which is pretty much a strictly trade and film magazine, and a newswire for Latin America. And apart from that, several of the films are bringing in their own crew. I know Yochi is bringing in their own press behind them. Yochi is a short film made in Belize, a Belize USA co-production. they've been getting a lot of press, and they will be on an opening night as well.
Okay.
So, which is interesting. Our opening night is interesting, I would think. For me, it is.
How so?
We have the both films, the short film and the feature film, are all going to be in the Maya language.
Okay.
Different Maya
One
dialects.
from Guatemala, right?
One, yeah, that's a Guatemala French co-production. So we're going to be hearing Mopan Maya, I believe, mixed in with some Creole and Spanish in the first one. That's the one in Belize, and we'll also be hearing, I think, Ishkanil, something like that, with the other one. I can't understand any, so I'll be reading the subtitles just like
Which
you.
means the majority of viewers will be reading subtitles. Will be reading subtitles.
But it's interesting for us to see how these different regions, how the different.
Yeah. Now, what I love about the Belize International Film Festival, or the opportunity to see movies here, is that movie submissions into film festivals are distinctly unique. They're not your major Hollywood productions, big action films, but some are beyond what you will ever see within in a trailer or when you go to a large theater. And where there's a prestige in terms of, we hear people talk about how their movie was rated at Sundance, we hear about Cannes, we hear about several other festivals where movies get all their fame from, or they start to pick up traction. Is that really where, are we starting to make inroads in terms of being a recognized festival where people want to have the prestige of saying, it was an official selection, or?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Vanessa can tell you about how many laurels she sent out on
Let's
demand.
hear. Let's hear.
Sending out the emails to the selected official selection was exciting to me to see the response. Some respond in Spanish, some respond in French. I just Google Translate to respond. I normally just forward it to Miss Suzette. It was fun. People were excited.
They wanted our official selection laurels. I would say it's been like 3 years that that I've realized that we have to create this, because it's no longer them putting it on. We realize that we were the ones that have to send it out. The minute I remember Vanessa laughing one day. She's like, "I just sent this. Look, they already stuck it on and have it up on Facebook." And in fact, we've been seeing, and it has its own set of responses. Almost everybody that we've told that they're in have put it on their posters and reposted it on their Facebook page with the laurels. So Yochi's out there with that. Voices of Latin America was waiting for it. We have another crew from Israel waiting to send more stuff.
Now, before we move into schedules, let's talk judging, because that's always the interesting point for you guys. We get to enjoy the movies, but there are people who have to actually judge it.
Right, and it's not me either. About 5 years ago, we also realized that we needed to look into a jury, precisely so people don't think. Well, first we wanted to make sure that all the films had a fair chance, because there's some that would have a lot of people attending, and some maybe didn't have as much publicity and would have very few people. And at that time when we started, we were giving out the audience award. So we realized that wasn't perhaps the most fair, because you have that stuff, the ballot system. So we invited 3 jurors. So we've been having 3 jurors for the films and 1 for the music video. They work with our international advisors.
Okay.
We try and have a mix. Alejandro is from Argentina. Andre Bennett is from Canada. Sandro Halfen is from Mexico, and Tim is originally from Manila but based in LA. We try to have a European perspective when possible.
Okay.
Latin America, Caribbean perspective, and an American perspective. We don't want to stray too far from LA, because that is at the end of the day the normal direction most people head to for the bigger festivals. But no, we try and have a mix, and in fact, the juries always look at each other and say, "How would we ever agree You're like coming from so many.
Yeah.
You have a different reasons. Some will say we need to choose certain films because, you know what, that film was good, but it had 100 festival stuff. This one is good. It's just starting out. They will work for the festival. You know, it's different perspectives. Another one says we're just going to judge by feelings.
From your experience, though, when the jury judges the movies, what makes a movie a winning movie? Well,
like I said,
within our festival,
what makes it a winning? I'll be honest with you. Each jury is different.
Yeah.
They all lean different directions in how they judge. I leave it up to them. Like I said, there was one year we had an actress, a producer, a director, and they decided, you know what, we're going to rate the film that speaks to us. Emotionally. If it makes me sad, angry, annoyed, whatever, it has done what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It has created a reaction in me. If I just sit there and go, okay, so it was executed fine, but I didn't feel anything, the characters didn't do anything, then it wasn't good enough for them.
It was technically sound, but it didn't have a soul.
It didn't have a soul. Some of them look for soul. They do want the technical stuff as well, though. You do need to be able to hear what they're saying. You need to be.
The photography has to be nice,
Right, you can't have it jumping so much that you get dizzy. or the song, but you know, a lot of people don't think about post-production and song, and that's, I mean, it's, for me, it's what polishes a film. If it's a smooth, you know, when you hear the cuts, the jumps, you're like, this is getting hard.
How about uniqueness of storylines?
We look at that, but I'll be honest, our festival is not like Cannes.
Okay.
I've been watching some of them and I realized that we really are not them.
What? Yeah.
In the sense, no, they look for that unique, story that's
never been told before.
But it's like, for instance, The Lobster. I don't know if you've ever seen The Lobster.
I haven't seen it yet, but it got great reviews.
It's right, but it's absolutely strange. I don't think anybody. I think I would be asked for their money back if I show that. At our festival, we're not an art house festival. That I have to explain. We don't have a category because we don't. That would require a whole different judging technique.
Okay.
So we can't do art right now. Right now, we're just working on stories and bringing it across as best as you can. It would become so expensive if I started to open all those categories.
So what categories will they be judged on?
So we have the main four.
Okay.
Best of each category. The main five, best of each category, which is the feature film, narrative, which is equal to fiction, narrative, and documentary, and the short versions of those, plus the music video. The music video is only for Belize. It has several qualifications. You have to be a Belizean. It has to be for a Belizean artist. It has to be a Belizean director, and we open Belizean director to diaspora too. But it has to be Belizean, and it has to be shot in Belize.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that's
partially shot or the entire.
It has to be shot in Belize. I mean, we're trying to push the location as well. We're trying to push the location. We're trying to push the talent, and we're trying to push the music.
So there's, in terms of the number of submissions that one director can place.
That's okay. You can submit as many as you want.
Okay.
If you get selected,
you could pace it out over several festivals. But there is a time frame. We don't really music videos. It can't be older than 1 year.
Okay. I'm asking because I'm looking at the short documentaries here, and I see my good friend Wilma here in at least 3.
He did 3, and if you were able to see how long they are, they're not very long, and that's what people aren't understanding. 3 minutes. You could do 3 minutes. You don't
that's
have
like some
to,
of our news stories.
You don't have exactly. You do it every day. This is what I'm trying to tell the people. Or a short story. We don't take anything more than 15 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. You can participate. You're just not bothering. And there's so much talent. And the thing is, we bring these people in. The judge that was there, Sandra is the head of acquisitions and development for Corazon Films in Mexico. What that means is he buys they're a distribution company and a production company. They're the biggest in Mexico, the biggest. They everybody who knows anything in Mexico in film is aware that they bring in all the US. They even have a US arm. All the big blockbusters pass through them into Mexico. But they're also making. So he decides, and they're here. Him and his boss, the owner, will be coming along and be at the panel discussion. They'll discuss film financing. And they're also looking to see what they might be interested in co-producing in Belize.
Okay.
So they're joint reasons why you have.
So there are
some things.
opportunities that exist, and I think the more we see the film industry building, the more support they can be able to get as well.
Right, it goes hand in hand because I'll be honest with you, we have provided networking opportunities that are huge. 2 years ago, we had a Jamaican filmmaker here, Storm Salter. He had a film called Better Must Come. He was a member of the jury. There was another member of the jury called Donald Ranvo. He's a producer known for the city, children. Lord, the film from Brazil.
City of God.
City of God. And he's been known to choose emerging filmmakers from around the world.
Oh, nice.
From that festival, there wasn't, our submissions from Belize are still not yet, but he saw Storm's stuff and they made an agreement. They continued their relationship, and last year they signed a 3-picture deal and they were shopping his latest film in Cannes together. So we are doing what we said we're doing. We have everything here. You just have to do it.
Right.
You have to make your film and big up yourself.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the kickoff of the International Film Festival, Belize International Film Festival. It starts next week. Where can people see the movies? What will be the cost? The details of the event.
Okay, we open on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Opening night is the full red carpet gala.
Yes.
We started on Thursday because we want to take advantage of Friday to do the panel discussions and have the students attend.
Okay.
That would be $25 for the opening night. Again, it's the whole thing, the cocktail, 2 films, the opportunity. All the films are $10. Well, it's not one film, it's film program, about 2 hours. It's $10 if you go to each individually. The closing night is always a closing awards and concert, so it's a mix of performances and stuff. That's $15. Those are all at the Bliss. If you decide that you want to do a package, you can do a package for $75, and I guess your opening, closing, and in and out of whatever films. Some people find that a lot more reasonable and more easier. It's a photo ID pass. Because they might go into one and they say, okay, this isn't what I want to see. Let me jump into the next one, and then there's not having to do that. But
where are the screenings going to be?
They're all going to be at the Bliss this year. We're going to do a preview event on Wednesday, along with the Magistrate Court of Belize. We're showing one of the films called Being Charlie. We were actually going to have the writers here, but they had to cancel last minute. It's a guy, Nick Reimer, and Matt. The director of that film is Rob Reiner. Okay. And Rob was busy, and his son was going to come because he wrote it. But it's a film about drug addiction and drug courts, and it's a subject that I believe is very dear to the Magistrate Court because they're about to launch that soon. So we're going to have a panel discussion on that on Wednesday at the Government House. So that's also a part of the festival, but because it's before Thursday, it's a preview event. So that is also $10 as well.
Where can people get tickets?
The tickets are available online.
Okay.
So you can start going online at BelizeFilmFestival.com, or you can write us at info@BelizeFilmFestival.com if you want to start reserving any tickets, if you don't want to buy online. And we will start selling. We will start selling actually we have pre-sale tickets. But it's not telling you buy it. It's $10, and then you will exchange it at the Bliss when you go for the film that you actually want to see, because we have certain stuff in place that we have to keep track of, which how many people are going into which one.
And where will people see the schedule? Where can
It
people
will
see the
be
schedule?
online very soon.
Okay.
We will also be handing out brochures. It will be published in next week's
All right.
Amanda, I believe.
And I'm sure it's going to be on your Facebook, your website.
It's going to
so
be everywhere
they'll be able
soon.
to see that.
But if you can go to the website now, and you'll be able to see all the film list. You can see all the trailers. The time, we don't have up the huge schedule, but if you go to the film, below each film tells you what time it will show.
Okay.
And what date it will show. So you can at least start marking the ones you want.
You definitely want to go see. Well, ladies, I want to say thank you for joining us. We're completely out of time. And I think it is definitely something that many people look forward to. They always say, oh, there are limited things to do in Belize, but this is one time you can definitely find some good entertainment at the Belize.
Right.
All right. Thank you once again, and best of luck with the festival.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take that final break. When we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.
Do it sober. It'll seem like an eternity.
Charlie, why don't you tell us what you want to thank God for? 6 months of sobriety? Nothing you want to say?
Do I smell like weed? No. I think I smell like weed.
You look like you came from a funeral.
Mind if I use your bathroom?
Hey, go ahead. Let me see those. My mother's oxys.
Dad, I'm not gonna listen to you tell me what a drug addict I am.
Tough, Dan.
Careful, I'm one of your constituents now. You wouldn't want to lose the governor's race by 1 vote.
You can either head back to treatment or live on the streets. It's your choice.
Charlie, you think your dad's gonna know about any of this when he's elected? No, he's gonna be in Sacramento doing his governor's thing.
Oh, what, you taking their side?
Right, you're right. Go shoot up, prove everyone right. Just stick it out for 30 days.
Being an outpatient comes with more freedom, but more responsibility.